In the late 20th century, Ireland experienced an economic transformation that earned it the nickname Celtic Tiger. From the mid-1990s to the mid-2000s, Ireland's economy grew at an astonishing rate, with GDP growth averaging around 7% per year. This remarkable period of prosperity was driven by several key factors, including favorable government policies, foreign direct investment, FDI, and a booming housing market. One of the primary drivers of the Celtic Tiger economy was the Irish government's pro-business policies. In the 1980s, Ireland faced high unemployment, emigration, and a sluggish economy. In response, the government implemented a series of reforms to attract foreign investment and stimulate economic growth. These measures included reducing corporate tax rates to one of the lowest in Europe, investing in education and infrastructure, and promoting Ireland as an attractive destination for multinational corporations. The low corporate tax rate, which was set at 12.5%, became a cornerstone of Ireland's economic strategy. This policy attracted numerous multinational companies, particularly from the United States, seeking a favorable tax environment and access to the European market. Companies such as Google, Apple, and Microsoft established significant operations in Ireland, creating jobs and contributing to the country's economic growth. By 2004, Ireland had become the largest recipient of U.S. foreign direct investment in Europe, with FDI accounting for a substantial portion of the country's GDP. Another critical factor in Ireland's economic boom was the growth of the financial services sector. Dublin's International Financial Services Centre, IFSC, became a hub for financial activities, attracting banks, insurance companies, and investment funds from around the world. The financial sector's expansion contributed significantly to Ireland's GDP and provided high-paying jobs, further boosting the economy. The housing market also played a significant role in the Celtic Tiger economy. As the economy grew, demand for housing increased, leading to a construction boom. Between 1995 and 2007, house prices in Ireland more than quadrupled, driven by easy access to credit, low interest rates, and speculative investment. The construction industry became a major employer, and the rapid rise in property values contributed to increased consumer wealth and spending. However, beneath the surface of this economic success, vulnerabilities were building up. The very factors that fueled the Celtic Tiger's growth also laid the groundwork for its dramatic collapse. By the mid-2000s, signs of trouble began to emerge, and the global financial crisis of 2008 exposed the fragility of Ireland's economic model. One of the primary weaknesses of the Celtic Tiger economy was its over-reliance on the housing market and construction sector. The rapid rise in property prices created a speculative bubble, with many people borrowing heavily to invest in real estate. When the global financial crisis hit, the bubble burst, leading to a sharp decline in property values and a wave of defaults on mortgage loans. The collapse of the housing market had a cascading effect on the broader economy, leading to job losses, reduced consumer spending, and a contraction in economic activity. The banking sector, which had been a pillar of the Celtic Tiger economy, was also severely impacted by the crisis. Irish banks had engaged in risky lending practices, particularly in the property market, and were heavily exposed to bad loans. As the housing market collapsed, the banks faced significant losses, leading to a banking crisis that required a government bailout. The Irish government intervened to stabilize the banking sector, guaranteeing bank liabilities and injecting capital into the banks. This bailout came at a substantial cost, significantly increasing the country's public debt. The combination of the housing market collapse and the banking crisis plunged Ireland into a deep recession. Between 2008 and 2010, Ireland's GDP contracted by about 10%, and unemployment soared from around 4% to over 14%. The government, facing a ballooning budget deficit and rising debt levels, was forced to implement austerity measures, including spending cuts and tax increases. These measures, while necessary to stabilize the economy, further strained households and businesses, prolonging the economic downturn. Ireland's economic woes were further compounded by the broader European debt crisis. As part of the Eurozone, Ireland could not devalue its currency to boost competitiveness, and it faced significant pressure from international lenders and the European Union to address its fiscal imbalances. In 2010, Ireland sought financial assistance from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the European Union, resulting in an €85 billion bailout package. The terms of the bailout required Ireland to implement strict austerity measures and structural reforms, further impacting the economy and public services. Despite these challenges, Ireland embarked on a path of recovery and economic reform. The government's commitment to fiscal discipline, coupled with structural reforms and a focus on restoring competitiveness, gradually improved the economic outlook. By the mid-2010s, Ireland's economy began to rebound, with GDP growth returning to positive territory and unemployment declining. The recovery was supported by the resilience of Ireland's export sector, which continued to attract foreign investment and benefit from its favorable tax policies. The technology and pharmaceutical industries, in particular, played a crucial role in driving the recovery, with multinational companies expanding their operations and increasing exports. By 2015, Ireland was once again among the fastest-growing economies in the European Union, with GDP growth exceeding 5% per year. However, the legacy of the Celtic Tiger era and the subsequent crisis continues to shape Ireland's economic landscape. The housing market, while recovering, remains a contentious issue, with affordability and supply constraints posing ongoing challenges. The banking sector has undergone significant restructuring, but the scars of the crisis linger, affecting lending practices and consumer confidence. Ireland's experience offers valuable lessons for other countries pursuing rapid economic growth. It highlights the importance of maintaining a balanced and diversified economy, avoiding over-reliance on any single sector, and ensuring robust regulatory oversight of the financial system. The Celtic Tiger era underscores the risks associated with speculative bubbles and excessive borrowing, as well as the need for prudent fiscal management and sustainable growth strategies. The rise and fall of the Celtic Tiger economy is a story of extraordinary growth followed by a dramatic collapse. Ireland's economic boom was driven by favorable government policies, foreign investment, and a booming housing market, but it was also marked by vulnerabilities that ultimately led to a severe crisis. The subsequent recovery, while impressive, has been shaped by the lessons of the past, emphasizing the importance of balanced and sustainable economic development. What do you think were the key factors behind the Celtic Tiger's rise and fall, and how can other nations learn from Ireland's experience? And let us know in the comments if there are any other countries you think we should study.